Have you ever looked death in the eye? Not once, not twice, but 7 times. My name is Maya. I was a wildlife photographer looking for the perfect shot, but what I found was a nightmare. Stranded in the heart of the unforgiving Zambezi wilderness with no radio, no weapon, and no hope, I became the prey. Over the next few days, I would face the 7 most ferocious killers on the planet. They wanted to tear me apart, but I had one thing they didn't expect: the will to survive. This is my story. The small Cessna plane sputtered and died over the dense canopy of the Zambezi Valley. I remember the screaming of the pilot, the tearing of metal, and then darkness. When I woke up, the silence was louder than the crash. The pilot was gone. The radio was smashed. I was alone in a place where humans are not the top of the food chain. I grabbed a survival knife, a lighter, and a canteen from the wreckage. I had to reach the river to find civilization. I didn't know that the river was where the monsters lived. My first test came not with a roar, but with a hiss. Barely an hour into my trek, staring at my compass, I stepped over a fallen log. A flash of scales caught my eye. A puff adder, one of Africa's deadliest snakes, camouflaged perfectly in the dead leaves. It coiled, ready to strike. My instinct screamed at me to run, but I knew sudden movement triggers them. I froze. My heart hammered against my ribs like a trapped bird. The snake tasted the air, its tongue flicking inches from my boot. For 10 agonizing minutes, I stood like a statue, sweat stinging my eyes. Finally, losing interest, it slithered away. I had survived the first guardian of the wild. By midday, the heat was unbearable. I found the riverbank, hoping for water. The surface was calm, glassy, too calm. As I dipped my canteen, the water exploded. A massive Nile crocodile, easily 15 feet long, lunged. Its jaws snapped shut inches from my arm, the sound like a gunshot. I fell back, scrambling up the muddy bank, the beast thrashing onto land with terrifying speed. I threw a heavy rock at its sensitive snout, stunning it for a split second. That second was all I needed. I sprinted into the tree line, climbing high onto a rocky outcrop. Down below, the prehistoric monster watched me with cold, yellow eyes before sliding back into the depths. I learned a valuable lesson. Looking for water could mean finding death. The second day brought a threat I couldn't outrun. While navigating through tall elephant grass, I heard a deep, grunting sound. The grass parted, revealing the Black Death, a solitary Cape buffalo. These animals kill more hunters than lions do. It saw me. It lowered its massive, armored horns and charged. There was no time to think. I spotted an acacia tree 10 yards away. I dropped my pack and ran. The ground shook under its hooves. I leaped for the lowest branch just as the buffalo smashed into the trunk, the impact nearly shaking me loose. It circled the tree for hours, snorted in rage, waiting for me to fall. I tied myself to the branch with my belt and waited it out until nightfall masked my escape. Nightfall didn't bring safety, it brought them. The spotted hyenas. I heard their whoops and cackles before I saw them. They are intelligent, pack hunters. I was huddled in a small cave when 3 of them surrounded the entrance. Their eyes glowed in the moonlight, jaws powerful enough to crush bone. They tested my defenses, lunging forward. I knew fire was my only chance. Using the lighter and dry grass I had gathered, I created a makeshift torch. As the alpha lunged, I thrust the flame into its face. It yelped, retreating. I kept the fire going all night, feeding it with every twig I could find, while they circled, laughing in the dark, waiting for the flame to die. It didn't. Day 3 pushed me back towards the water, to bypass a steep ravine. I cut off the path of a grazing hippo. It charged with its mouth wide open, displaying tusks that could slice me in half. I couldn't outrun it on the flat ground. I saw a dense patch of thorny bush suedabit thorns. No animal wants to run through those. I dove into the thorns, the sharp barbs tearing my skin and clothes, but it stopped the hippo. It stomped the ground, roaring, but refused to enter the briar patch. I lay there, bleeding but alive, listening to the beast snort before it lumbered back to the water. By the 4th day, I was exhausted, limping, and dehydrated. I found a large baobab tree to rest in the shade. I didn't look up, I should have. A drop of warm liquid hit my hand. Blood. I looked up to see a fresh kill draped over a branch and a pair of green eyes staring down. A leopard, the master of stealth, it descending the trunk head first. I grabbed a thick branch, wielding it like a spear. The leopard swiped, its claws tearing my sleeve. I screamed, making myself look as big and loud as possible. I slammed the branch against the hollow trunk of the baobab, creating a booming sound that echoed. Confused, the cat hesitated. I backed away slowly, never breaking eye contact, until I was clear of its territory. I could see the smoke of a village in the distance. Hope surged through me. But standing between me and salvation was the ultimate apex predator, a male lion. He was old, scarred, and likely a monitor. He roared, a sound that vibrated in my chest. He began to trot towards me. This was it. I had no fight left. As he crouched to pounce, a low hum filled the air. A rescue helicopter crested the hill, the downdraft kicking up a storm of dust. The lion, startled by the mechanical beast, snarled and fled into the bush. A rope ladder dropped. I grabbed it with the last ounce of my strength. I survived 7 of the deadliest creatures on Earth. I walked out of the valley of death not because I was strong, but because I refused to give up. The jungle doesn't forgive weakness, but it respects the will to live. I am Maya, and I am a survivor.